Boom. Yo, what's going on, everyone? Good morning. Welcome back to Call for the Creators. I know it's been a minute, holidays, end of year, everything resets. We're resetting. It's 2025. Hope you guys are in for a good new year. This is 42 West 18th Street. This is not a green screen. You guys know that. And I got next to me, boop, Monica Sigmon. You guys can check out her work right there. We're going to get into who this human being is, what she shoots, and how you go about shooting it. We actually got into a lot of deep discussions where I had to shut you up so that we could do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll be a good one. But first, I just want to say a really quick thank you to Sony for sponsoring this. You know Sony. They've been a part of all culture for as long as most of you have been alive, right? The Alpha series, the A1 II just came out. The follow-up to the A1, which is their flagship, the A7 IV, A7R5, the A7S3, the A6000 series. I got to know all the cameras, man.
Nice.
And just so you know, the A6000 series, if you're looking to get started in filmmaking, like that, it's a nice option. It's easy to gimbal, low barrier for entry, I'll say, with a lot of ability. So check out the link down below. Man, it's been a minute. The link down below for all the stuff on Sony. You guys know that. And I also want to give a huge thanks to Gotham Roasters for the coffee today.
Woohoo.
Cheers.
Thank you.
What'd you get?
A decaf latte something, because I really use coffee as a vehicle to drink cream.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm not allowed to have regular octane coffee, because I would blow you off of this set. It would be a lot.
You have a lot of energy. You have a lot of energy. I've been around you while you're teaching. I've been across the aisle from you at trade shows while you're teaching.
That's how we met.
Yeah, we were yelling at each other pretty good.
Well, you were yelling.
I apologize. I apologize about that. Let me turn this off. Okay. Again, you guys can check out Monica's work right here for Instagram. So, wow. Yeah, that was, I'm a little rusty on this intro, Teresa. Look, it's been a minute, guys. And I love you guys so much. Rick, you're welcome. Thank you so much, Michael Brown, Scott Davis. If you guys have any questions while we're doing this, we're live. This is what we're doing it for. So let us know in the chat if you have anything you want to know about. But Monica, you are a Sony artisan. Yeah. You're known a lot for shooting families. And I was even told you're aggressive about making sure that family photography is a genre, that it's available to people, it's accessible, that it's a part of our life, not just, hey, let's shoot pretty models and
right. Yeah.
So
I didn't know that was actually out there in the ether, aggressive about.
Not aggressive. I heard mission. I heard you're on a mission.
Yes, I am on a mission.
There you go. You don't think that's aggressive?
I'll take aggressive.
You don't think a mission is aggressive?
Listen, I'm here for it.
Look, this is some of Monica's work while we talk, but you could tell there's a style to it. That soft touch, that real you're definitely curating. This isn't candid. This isn't there's a purpose, there's an intent to your style.
Everything is intentional. Yeah.
I mean,
in fact, those first couple rows are very out of character. That was actually some model set. The black and white was some modeling stuff that I had to do. But if you scroll down, that is everyday client work. That's what I sell on the daily. Those are not models. Those are clients and everything. Let's see. Now I deleted that one so it would all line up.
All right, I tell you what.
Didn't refresh.
Oh my!
So now it's all.
I'm doing a lot of things, lady.
You literally had one job.
No, I don't. I have 7 jobs.
I'm kidding.
I have 7 jobs.
Just kidding.
There you go.
So this is everyday life. This is what we sell daily, weekly, monthly, annually to our clients.
And is this print work? Is this print?
All print work.
Okay, all print work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love to talk more about that.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah. No, we're big believers in print here at Adorama. We have Printique, which is a printing service that we use.
Yep, absolutely.
And I do believe that there's a difference between people coming across your image and living with the image. When you have a print in a room, it's present. It's part of you.
And most especially for children. I think we underestimate the impact that printed work has on children. Seeing the physical portrait print in their home, in their living room, bedroom, whatever, walking by that print every single day.
Living with it.
Has impact way more than, did you see my kid's recent photo shoot? So when children see portraits of themselves in their homes, we know there have actually been psychological studies done about this. We know they feel safer, they feel more secure, they feel a more sense of permanence in their family unit.
Really?
When children see portraits of themselves in their home, they know somebody's proud of them, that they're worthy of being displayed. That's a much different message than mom just showing somebody who's kind of counting down the obligatory 5, 4, 3. Oh, that's so great. Okay, gotta run, right? Kids are not dumb. They all know we're just bombarding with images and this is the most photographed generation, but they're not seeing the the long-term result and the impact and the importance of this documentation. So I feel very, very strongly about that.
Yeah, we're doing a high volume, but that's not always the same as impact, right?
No.
And what I think people skip about with prints, as much as they're physical with that, it's also the final interpretation. When you put something out there, they're looking at it on all sorts of resolutions, colors.
Right.
But you're going, no, this is the color it should have been.
This is the way it should
finish. This is what the final interpretation of what you're delivering is.
Right. Exactly right. Exactly.
Is that
and that's what we are really being sought after to do. You know, I would like to say paid to do, but I know not everybody is paid. Like, we can get into the no more starving artists theory that I have also, but people are seeking us out as experts, and we need to provide the finished product. And sorry guys, but the digital file is not the finished product. I mean, it's just not. So the finished product is that printed piece, because I can give you a digital file. To your point, you can go get that printed wherever, right? CVS, Target, Costco, whatever. Is that hourly employee aware of how I wanted the color toning, how I wanted the saturation? Right. I mean, I can bake it into the file, but it doesn't matter if it's going through an automated machine. So by losing that control, I feel like photographers, we can kind of fool ourselves into thinking we're giving better service to our clients, that's what they want. But in my experience, that's all they know what to ask for. Right. It's not necessarily what they want. I've had clients say to me, I have no pictures from my wedding. And I'm like, but I know the photographer who did your wedding. I know you got files. And they'll say, well, I have files, but I don't have any pictures. I don't have anything. So it's very interesting. I think photographers have used that almost as a little bit of a crutch or an escape to not go the distance with that relationship. And I think when we hand over a digital file like that, we're kind of removing ourselves from all culpability, all responsibility. And, you know, that's it. And really, they're hiring us for the finished piece.
Well, it's also committing, right? I think one of the hardest things people learn as they grow in this industry, or in this craft rather, is editing themselves. Mm-hmm. Now imagine editing all those. I know you got 30 frames a second. They're all amazing, right? You want that one image. Yeah, I know, right? We talk about that, the speed of things and how much and volume of things. But when you were able to be like definitive, it's like someone who talks a lot but isn't saying anything. Same deal, right?
I'm not gonna take that personally. Like that wasn't a thing to me. I'm sure.
No. Well, if you're making a print, you're committing. Like this is the print, right? Yeah. So unless you're delivering a book, which is literally gonna be like a flip book of 30 frames per second, like no. We boil it down to what you're really saying, what you're really delivering. But you're also approaching this as a pro, looking for a client, talking to client. When you start the conversation different, the entire experience is different, as opposed to, hey, we're friends. Would you want to trade print? Different story, right?
Let's meet at the park at 3:00 or whatever. Everything, so perfect timing for this conversation, because I don't do resolutions. I do a word of the year. And
word of the year.
Yes. So a couple of years ago, my word was intentional, and it went into everything, business, personal, all of the things. So intentional really became my metric for which to measure everything against. So am I just shooting to shoot and hoping somebody's going to buy something? Shooting on spec sucks. That's no way to make a living. So being intentional in our conversations beforehand, before the session, to say, Seth, what are we doing? Where's this portrait going to live? Is it going to live, over your fireplace? Is this in a book? What are we doing with the portraits? Because otherwise you get suckered into, well, I want a picture of, me and my kids, and then my husband and the kids, and then the dog and the kids, and then my aunt and the kids, and my great cousin and the kid. And you're like, okay, but what are we doing with these images? How are they being used? Right. Because we're not going to shoot just to shoot. It wears the little kids out. If you're photographing little kids, they get worn out. B, it wears you out. You're like now working off a checklist instead of being creative and thinking about, what can I really do to make this portrait or this series of portraits very special? Instead, you're into this mentality of, how much can I get? How quickly can I get? And how much are they going to buy? I'm going to just hope that they buy them because I'm so awesome, right? So that's not intentional. And when I changed my word to intentional, everything changed. My whole business changed. In fact, I liked it so well, I used it for 2 years. And then the third year, my year was conviction, because I felt like I had taken 2 years to make all of these changes in my business, changes in my art, my work, and be intentional about every decision I was making. Now I had to come forth and be like, yeah, I believe in it. I made these choices. Now I'm convicted.
Did I lose you guys in this chat? What happened here? Hang on.
I'm like, listen, I'm on a roll. Did we just go, like, are we still broadcasting? What's
Yeah, well, you guys in that chat, let me know. But no, you're right. So a lot of things that we do here, we always start with intention because it's a language what we're doing.
Yeah.
So if you're not understanding what you're going to go try to say or how you're going to go say it, what are you doing? What is the I always say, what is the shot? Because we shoot different.
Right.
What is this for? Is it for the product, the scene, the dress, the time?
Right.
What is it?
Right.
And once you do that, now we have a direction, and you're always more successful when you have a point to hit. You're trying a target, right? But I think with what you're doing, a lot with family photography, like they have a perception in their heads, right? Don't they?
I think they do, but, and I mean that very respectfully. But I think they don't know what to ask for. Like, you work with commercial clients, they know the lingo, they know the language, they know how to verbally communicate to you what it is that they are trying to get across in mood, feel, whatever. But I think family clients just want great images of their kids and themselves. They just want to look good.
Do you find that their interpretation of what even great is different? Because I think there's like a style thing.
100%.
Do you get the bridezilla, but it's like a momzilla?
Well, I don't do weddings.
Yeah, but do you get like a momzilla version of that? Does that
not
exist in family?
anymore. I used to, and you will if you don't know how to take control. And if you don't remember that even if you don't feel like it, you are in fact the expert. They are commissioning you in whatever trade you're using. Hopefully it's money and you're getting paid well for what you do, but they are commissioning you to deliver the finished image, right? Or the finished product. So you therefore have the right to take control. You took control of the set. I walked in, you're like, you're going to sit here. I'm going to test the mics. I've got the lights going. This is how it's going to roll. Like, I didn't walk in and say, listen, I've watched a lot of your things. And this is how I want it to go. Like,
it happens though.
Yeah, exactly. So, so we have to just say, like, this is my experience. It's not without intention, but it's going to provide us the best result. When you explain every decision I'm making is so that we can get the best result, then they buy in. But you have to be convicted. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to be able to deliver the goods, and you have to know what you're be convicted in it.
Well, I think that's one of the hardest things aside from style is to build your proof of concept as a professional, so that you're putting your work out there. If you don't have a long body of work or a big volume of body of work, it doesn't have to be for years, but if you've just been shooting a lot and you're showing this is what I do, you're coming to me, right?
Right.
I've had plenty of commercial clients come to me and be like, can we do this? I'm like, you didn't really look at what I'm doing, right?
You didn't look at what I do.
But
right.
I'll do it.
Right.
But now it doesn't feel like my shot anymore, which is fine. This is my job.
Right.
But I think it's the hardest thing is to actually get to a point where you don't have to prove yourself as a proof of concept when they come to you. And just so you guys know, we were talking about this, like Joe McNally was doing a demo here. We've had people like, I don't know how experienced this guy is. Like, they don't know.
Right.
We know it's our world, but they don't know. Right.
I think that, I think several things. And I love talking to you because you talk as fast as I do. So I hope people are going to listen back to this on like the how you can slow it down on the minus 0.5. Yeah. So, but I think that people can't tell, you asked earlier, do they know the difference? And so I think generally consumers don't know the difference between good and great. I think that we're lucky if they can tell the difference between good and bad, right? And we can see that on Facebook when we watch people like put up very mediocre professional portraits of their family, and they're getting tons of comments, and they're feeling all the love, and they love it, and they feel great.
15 minutes, man.
And we're all, we're like, oh man, I wish they would have flattered mom better. They could have lit that better. The posing wasn't, I could have helped with that or whatever. But they don't know that. What they know is how you make them feel and how they feel about themselves when they leave your experience and every time they look at that portrait. That's what we're selling. The experience. We're not selling the art, we're selling the result of the art. So we have to be convicted enough to say, I know you love this dress, but it is so busy and has so many patterns. And what's going to happen is when we look at that finished portrait, our eye is going to go right to your dress and not to your expressions. And then they go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And then I have had, and it comes with time and experience, and again, your conviction at the discussions, but I have had on rare occasions somebody come and say, this is the Christmas card I got from my friend. We want it to look like this, right? And I'm like, well, that's in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest. So no, we're in Virginia. That's not going to happen. But they don't, like, they go, oh, or I want it to look like this. And I'm like, okay, well, it's spring and that's a fall portrait. Do you want fall? Well, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to have to shoot that in the fall. Like, we assume that they they would understand those things. And it's just a foreign language to them. And so it's our job to come in and kindly and respectfully educate, get to the bottom of what is it that they want.
Yeah.
Because they might not know, or they might know, but they're not able to communicate it. And that's not their fault. That's our job.
I love when they want something that I'm like, you realize that's so heavily retouched. It's a CGI'd cartoon of someone, right? Like, let me take a few frames and let me show you what we could get to and how you might feel better up being just, I don't know, real and a little more genuine in the image. But there's also in what I do, I have to simulate a lot.
Right.
So like if they come to me and show me this, I'm like, I guess I'm going to simulate that we're raining today. Like, and I have to get into that. So you do have to have a lot of skill cards in your deck to pull out, but they also have to be realistic. But I think with what you deal with, I call them civilians.
Right.
They're like, they're not trained to look at images or what they could have been.
Right.
And there's sometimes people come to you with a shot and you're like, this could have been so much better, but you're happy.
Yeah.
You're happy. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
But when you're ready.
Yeah. And I've had that conversation too. They'll say, can you do this? And again, it doesn't happen as much anymore because I'm more confident in the work that I'm producing, in the work that I'm showing.
And that's huge.
And that comes with experience, right? That comes with time. So it's not, I don't want people who are just starting out to feel like, oh, I'm not at that level yet. It takes time. Like I wasn't at that level either. But I think when we're showing what we're excited about and then we can communicate that, they're bought in. They just don't know what to ask.
I don't think it's just time. Don't you feel like it's like you have to have a set of wins, right? Like people have had to have left happy, talk about you, your reputation, your body of work. You have to have been like, this has been accepted by mass audiences, brands. It's been featured here. Like that's where you get the confidence. Is like, that's when you get assured that your decision probably was the right decision in that case or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I think this is such a great conversation because it's so different for commercial work as opposed to, like I said, photographing real people, right? And their metrics are different. I have to make, oftentimes when I do a demo or a workshop or whatever, they'll say, what kind of models do you want? Who do you want us to bring in? And I'll say, can you get me a real family? Can you get me like real kids or real parents or whatever? Because I think it's much more valuable for working portrait photographers, not commercial, but working portrait photographers to see how I can photograph a real family, like regular people. They're not supermodels and the kids are misbehaving and all the things. Like, how do we deal with those things? Photographing models is awesome and beautiful and fun and great portfolio building. But if you are trying to make a living doing family portraits, children's portraits, I think that that's really important. And I think that, oh my gosh, I just lost it. I was trying to go back. We're really I love it. Very few people can go this fast with me. And now I think I've met my match. I'm like, wait, what was I going to say?
I'm slowing down. I'm slowing down. You guys know
I'm
me.
trying to keep up, but I feel like I'm doing okay.
No,
I just lost that last thing.
While we're doing that.
I know what it was.
Okay, let's go.
So I'll say,
knock yourself out.
so I'll say, if they come with the picture and they'll go, can you do this? I'll say, I can. Hey, Josh, I can. However, that's really not what you're spending money with me to do. Anybody can do that. Like, you're going to spend more money here. So let's do something unique for you.
You know what I do sometimes in that situation, just to really throw down a hammer? I emulate that in 5 minutes. I'm like, now can we do what we're really going to do? So if you do it in fast and they get it, I'm like, you feel good? Cool. Now let's go this way.
You're nicer than me. I just say no.
Well,
I'm a little bit more.
It also comes down to your workflow, what's around you, the way you're set up. Can you do it fast enough? There's plenty of times they're like, I'm not pulling out that backdrop. Get out of here. But we're not going outside. We're in here today. Let's get this done. I got another client coming. There's a question in the chat from Scott Davis. Sorry, guys. I know we're on a delay. When marketing family ports of families looking style, do you see your actual service as high investment, low volume business?
Yes, 100%. And I not only see my business like that, but I want everybody else to see my business like that. So it's very important to decide what it is you want to be known for, what clients you want to work with, what you want the work to look like. It's not enough to just say, I want to be a family portrait photographer. Like, what do those portraits look like? Are they color? Are they black and white? Are they fine art? Are they traditional? Are they more modern? Like, what is the feel and look and mood of those portraits. Once you decide that, then you have to communicate that in every single thing you do, say, share, write, post, all of the things, so that an audience can pull up our website, our Instagram or whatever and say, hey, she's expensive. Like, these are high-end portraits or whatever. So you've got to be able to communicate that. And so for us, we are a very high touch, low volume studio. Our typical family portrait sessions, you know, they don't happen by accident. We have an extensive design session beforehand. We've got all of this planned out so that by the time the session comes, we are dialed in. I know what I'm shooting for. I know it's going to be this size in that room, or it's going to be in a book or whatever, so we can be super efficient in the session. And we're all collaborating on the same page. And so that takes time.
Yeah.
And we're not shooting volume. And it's kind of how I feel like people are always surprised when I say I'm an introvert, because I can do all of the things, but really I love like this kind of one-on-one conversation. I can work a room, obviously I have to, but this is where I get really excited, is having these deeper conversations. And that's kind of how I've structured the business too. So my husband and I really love working with clients for longer periods of time. It can be 20 hours for a project by the time we have, you know, picked up the phone at the beginning to delivering the portrait, whatever. And we want them coming back year after year. These are long relationships.
That's what I'd say, is like every genre of this industry is relationships. I don't care what you're shooting, period. I mean, it's crazy. I always tell the story. I was nice to a caterer, and it turned out that
You were nice?
I was nice to a caterer.
To a caterer, no less.
And next thing I
Look
know,
at
I'm
you.
shooting at Makeup Forever because they're I forgot who, their cousin or something is the producer. Right. But just be human.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do what you do, there's an intimacy level. You're interacting with a family, man. Like, you know, and those kids have to be comfortable.
They're vulnerable. Like they are so uncomfortable and nervous, and parents, whether it's children or dogs, I see we have a dog photographer in the chat. The parents are nervous that their children / dog / animal, whatever, are going to misbehave. And they are embarrassed ahead of time. They're like coming in apologizing, right? Like they're like, okay, like he didn't get his nap, whatever.
Don't
and I'm
you
like,
staple them down?
Exactly. Right.
No?
Super glue. Right.
That's what
exactly.
I heard. I don't know.
And I'm just like, it's okay. It's okay. So you kind of have to wrangle this relationship with the parents, because the children or the dogs are feeding off of their energy, and you have to put them at ease. And then our job as photographers is to create an environment in which that magic can happen.
Yeah.
It's not their job to relax. It's my job to create an environment in which they can feel comfortable and relax. And then the second piece of that is, therefore, everything technical needs to be dialed in. I can't be thinking about my gear, my lighting, my set, my camera, my anything.
That's not a variable. The variable's the family.
I need to be right here with you, and they need to feel that. And so we've got to master our crafts, because they know if you're fumbling. It's another reason why I really don't like looking at the back of the camera during a shoot. I'll take advantage of being able to see through the viewfinder, the image right after I've shot it, but I really try not to look at the back of my camera, because I want to stay here. And think about it. If you're quiet for 3 seconds as you look at the back of the camera, just think, 1, 2,
energy drops.
3.
They get weird.
I mean, that's a long time. And they're like, what did I do wrong? What did my kid do wrong? What did my dog do wrong? I'm not sitting. Did she fix my hair?
They're like, what are you unsure of?
Yeah.
That's the worst, right?
Exactly. And it must be me, right? Like, I always tell photographers, if you're going into a shoot and you're nervous or you're anxious and you're worried about your lights, you're worried about your gear, whatever, everything that you're worried about that pertains to you means you're not focusing on that person, because it's physically impossible for your brain to think about yourself and the person in front of you at the same time. So your job, whether you feel comfortable or nervous or anxious or an imposter or whatever else, you have to set all of that aside. Your job is to make you feel great. Whether it's the client in front of you, the UPS guy that leaves our studio, they have to feel better than they felt when they walked in. So my job is, I've got to make everybody in front of me feel comfortable, like they're doing the right thing, like I'm happy with them. And when you're doing that, you can't worry about yourself. I do the same thing when I speak. If I'm on stage, I'm on stage and I've got a big audience, I'm a little nervous or whatever, I'm in my own head and I'm thinking, are they going to think I'm dumb? I'm not bringing enough value or whatever. So I'll just walk around the audience and say, hey, like, thanks for coming. What do you want to learn today? Why are you here? You know, and so the families are the same way. Just ask questions.
Yeah. I just, the more you can show you're human, I find, you know, when I have to work fast, like I'll have 10 minutes sometimes when they bring somebody and I have to do like 30 in a day, 50 in a day, 60 in a day.
Yeah.
You've got to make that
like
connection
my worst nightmare.
cold.
Yeah.
That's what I got to do.
Sure.
You know,
For sure.
and sometimes the stuff I shoot, I don't even know what they look like because I shoot a lot of special effects and they're covered in prosthetics.
Right.
I'm like, okay. And, you know, you try to find common ground, but it's like, yeah, how heavy is that? How does that feel? You know, check in on them, make them feel understand that you're worried about them as much as you're worried about the shot.
Correct.
And then they're part of it. And when they're part of it, they're invested. If they're invested, you're getting there, you know?
And it's the same thing with families. The more collaborative you make this process, the more they feel like they helped create that portrait, the more happy. Seth is human. I know. Like fun fact.
It happens.
Fun fact.
It happens.
But then the more invested they are in the process, the more they feel like they helped create that portrait, the more likely they are to buy the portrait, right? It's not about us. As much as everybody wants to think I've won this award, I'm this, I'm that, or whatever, they do not care. No. They want to know how they look, how their family looks. Is it a good representation? Do they have a good time? How do their kids feel about it? You know? And so they really don't care about the other stuff.
Michael Brown saying, after the shoot, do you show the results on the computer and do you post process?
So we have clients come in about a week after. So we let it bake for a minute. We don't want to be immediate, instant gratification. They're worn out. It's funny. In their minds, when they get done with that session, it's like, okay, we're done. Like they kind of forget
the battery's done.
That then they have to come back and do the thing. So that's another reason why we make the selection appointment at the same time that we make the session, because otherwise you'll never get them back in. They I got the family portrait done. No, I haven't chosen them yet, but I got it done. Right. So, we schedule that appointment for about a week out, and it's always
in person.
No exception. Never online. Always in person.
That's a 50-50.
It could be on Zoom if they're out of state, or if
right.
I've traveled to the session, which sometimes I've done, or we do rather. And so, but it's never, ever, ever, ever going to be an online gallery.
See, I find that when you ask
Ever.
Photographers, it's like 50-50. When you go to trade shows, you ask them how, like, oh, my clients, it'll be a Zoom. I'm like, but some people like you were like, nope. We're doing this.
Well, first of all, okay. So financially speaking, like, practically speaking, you're leaving 90% of the money on the table when you leave the decision making to them on their own and you just put an online gallery. Because what's going to happen? First of all, where are they looking at it? On a device this size. That's how they're going to make a decision on their portraits, on a device this size. Second of all, I've gotten my gallery, so now what am I going to do? Hey, I just got my pictures done. Hey, I just got my pictures done. Hey, so now it's groupthink. Right? Groupthink is public enemy number one when you're trying to really craft a product for your client, which is what they commissioned you to do. So groupthink is the worst. And really, again, you're deflecting responsibility because you're either too scared, too lazy, or too insecure to sit across a table from somebody and say, here are your portraits. What do you think? Right? We're scared because that's like so personal to us. So, but it's our responsibility to be a good steward of their investment, no matter how big or small that investment is. I need to sit with you and say, I know that you love that. You don't want to get that because you don't like how your hair was blowing in the wind, but I'm here to tell you I can fix that. Like we think they know that, but no. I'm going to take care of that for you.
They're so
I've got
obsessed
that.
with themselves up front
that
they're not thinking
they
about
don't even know there's 6 other people in their family. Like they don't. They forget that part. They're like, I don't like how I look. And I'm like,
their friends that kill it, you know? It's the friends that kill it.
The
every
friends
time.
kill it. It's
every
the same reason why, oh my God, I feel like, okay, stop handing out your price lists because price is out of context. Like laying on the kitchen counter, pulled up on your phone, friends kill it. They don't have any context.
Don't you know Uncle Bob will do that?
Yes,
Don't you know he'll see
exactly.
That? He just bought a camera.
Right.
Don't you guys know?
Right. Exactly right. So it's in person, absolutely no exception. And I explain that because I'll say you will never make a better decision than when we're sitting together, looking at the images together, and I can address any concerns, questions, whatever. You're going to see them on a big screen. And we have purpose for each of these images because we've talked about that in the design session.
It's perception. And if they're only looking through one mindset and one filter of their own face, they don't realize what the possibilities are. They don't realize what your intentions were, where it could go. They're looking at something that's completely different from what you're looking at. I mean, I shot a lot for makeup artist portfolios and they always pull images. I'm like, why that? Look at but they saw something else.
Right.
and you're like, oh,
Right.
we just had a 5-second conversation.
Right.
You know?
And also, I think photographers have been in this habit of, oh, man.
This is not for me. I'm here every
Seth can't
sort
get
of
a
week.
word in. Yes.
I'm here like every
I've
sort of week.
accomplished my goal.
I don't
Peace out.
shoot families,
Peace
bro.
out.
This
Peace
is
out.
I'm giving you a resource. Come on.
Well, I don't know, but I can be aggressive as we've
You're on a
hit at the
mission.
top of the interview.
Mission doesn't sound aggressive.
Okay. Yeah. It sounds intentional. How about
Mission.
intentional?
Mission.
Aggressive versus intentional. Intentional.
Is there a passive mission? No.
No.
So it's aggressive.
It's intentional.
It's aggressive.
With conviction. It's with great conviction. Anyway, now I lost. See,
Come on, if you're gonna monopolize this, I need you to keep this train of thought. Come on, Monica.
Okay, hold on. Wait, where were we? Let's rewind. I got so distracted.
They're looking at something else than you are.
Damn, I lost it. I'll think of it in a second.
You know, I think it's when you're dealing with people that don't deal with photography. We deal with this every day, and we're creating images every day. We're looking at images differently than other people every day. It's a lot of our job to kind of hold their hand through it, to get to something that they're only going through once, maybe twice. They're not living it.
Yes, and that goes back to having the confidence, courage, and conviction of the work that you're creating and the purpose of the work that you're creating. So I thought that was literally somebody waving at us, and they're just cleaning the window.
First
which is
episode,
awesome, but I'm like, wow, I'm on the Today Show. Hi, how you doing?
The first episode, we had a homeless guy giving me the finger for like, what, 10 minutes, I think that was? I forgot. Oh, geez.
That's not my work. No.
It's my screensaver.
Anyway, so so I think that we have that responsibility to take this experience from start to finish. Whatever that finish for you is, I personally think it needs to be printed, but it needs to be the decision making, the choices. And I say to my clients outright, it is my job to be a good steward of your investment. So I want to know how these images are being used. What body language? What's happening over here?
I don't know. They're seeing things.
Seth gets plenty of words while keeping Daniel grounded.
Yeah, we do a lot in this event space, guys, and I'm always here. You don't always got to, I'm sick of my own voice, and now I'm live every Monday with you guys. Like,
I know.
I'm
Okay.
just, you know.
So we digress.
It's
But
all
anyway, intention.
Let me ask you something. When they do have kids, do you try to meet the kids way beforehand so you're not a stranger?
No.
You don't think being not a stranger? Yeah, do you?
If they're too comfortable with you, they're going to walk out. They just like, that's why parents can't photograph their own kids.
It's funny you say that because I actually had to shoot a baby once because
Photograph a baby, but
shoot a baby.
you had to photograph a baby. You had to photograph a baby.
I was working another job and a makeup artist had her baby with her and bright blue eyes, amazing, really crazy features. I'm like, this is amazing. She's like, I have no photos of my baby yet. But the only way I could get this baby to sit still was I had to sit on my stomach. So I had to break out a macro lens and light this baby on my stomach. But I wasn't a stranger. She was way too comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was carrying this kid for it was very strange for me, but I was like, if this is what we're going to do.
Well, and that's something important to remind your clients of, because they will oftentimes come in and say, my kids are horrible. Like, they give these fake expressions. They don't cooperate. And I have to say, when you are photographing them, they know your buttons. They're too familiar. But with me, it'll be different. And then they're like, oh, okay, I didn't think of that. So I also don't talk down to children. Right. Children are little people. Yeah. They are little humans, and they can smell fear like dogs. They can smell it from a mile away. They will walk all over you. I don't do the high pitch, like, oh my God, look at your dress. Oh. Like, I hate that. And it's so funny when we have workshops at our studio and I have my clients bring in their kids as models, and I'll have students that, like, I have this little girl that I've been photographing since she's 4, she's 9 now. And she came in and I was like, hey T, what's up? And all my students were like, oh my God, your dress and she was literally like,
no.
Who are these people? Have they not gotten the memo? Because we just don't do that. They need to know that this is not on their terms, right?
Yeah, but now you have a relationship, right, with that kid.
Well, and I'm relating to them as a little person.
But now they're not a stranger to you. So when you've been photographing for 5 years, does it change?
Occasionally when they hit about age 11 or 12, we have a moment.
Oh, what's this moment?
We have a moment, like for a year or two, we have a little, like, a little battle of, who's running this show.
Interesting.
Yeah, but then they come back. It's fine. It's usually just a year. Yeah.
That's so. What would you say on a personal level? What would you say the age group that you have the most fun shooting with as a photographer?
So it's so great. In the beginning, I don't have children of my own. So at the beginning, little kids scared the heck out of me.
Yeah?
Like I could not understand why this 2-year-old was not doing what I asked him to do. And my assistant would be like, because he's 2. And I'm like, but I told him to sit. I was very clear. Like,
I told you to moisturize.
Yeah, I'm like, sit on the stool. I don't understand where the disconnect is. So I wasn't good at that and I didn't like it. But now bring me every 2, 3, and 4-year-old on the planet. I want every single one.
A lot of
they
energy.
are such interesting little people. And I think the secret to that age is, because if you look at my work, you'll see there's not big, toothy, grinny smiles. There's not a lot of teeth in my portraits.
There's no cheesiness. Come on.
No, it's very, like, I know we're doing multiple screens here, but it's very soft expressions. Even if you scroll back up to the little kids, there's no teeth in these images, right? It's just very soft smiles and expressions. And people will say, how do you do that with these little kids? And especially because the moms are coming in and they're like, tell them to smile. Don't forget, you've got to smile. You've got to smile. And so we'll just say, listen, when you're here, guess what? You do not have to smile. And they're like, what? Like it's Christmas. They're like, what do you mean? And so we just tell them, like, we don't want that. And children will mirror whatever it is, the energy that you're bringing to them. That child, if you scroll back up, that one, that child gave me exactly 4.2 seconds in this shoot. That's all I needed. And that was that split second. So that's what I'm talking about when I say you have to be ready. You have to know your gear. Your lighting has to be in place. You can't get a child on set and then start working your lighting.
Yeah.
Then start figuring out that, the exposure is off or whatever. So they will mirror, typically speaking, they will mirror you. And sometimes when they're just getting wilder and wilder, the louder they get, the quieter I get. And I just wait. And that's, I think photographers give up too early. They need to have more patience. Give up too early.
I bet you the parents probably appreciate that too. Like you're there for them. Like, I don't care how long this takes. We're doing this. Like, this is what we're doing today. We're going to get you there to get to there.
So I see that somebody said I had a parent scream at their son to smile, most awkward moment ever.
I wouldn't.
So I really, and I know this is going to be like, this is going to be a moment, but I really don't like parents on set. I really don't, unless I have a small child who has like significant attachment issues, they really stay out of sight, offset. And that way I can get that child to just concentrate with me and I can build that relationship and gain their trust. It's another reason why I won't shoot with a really long lens anymore with small children, because if I'm shooting with a 70 to 200, I'm back there. But if I'm shooting with 85, I can be right here and I can be in their space and I can talk to them quietly and I can engage with them. And the other trick with small children is ask them questions.
Right.
But like drag it out, like say, okay, I got a couple questions for you. Are you ready? And then I'll walk over back to my camera and then they're like, they kind of sit up a little bit and they're kind of waiting and they're anticipating. And that's a really beautiful expression, that anticipation. And I'll say, okay, I want to know. And they just lean forward. And half the time I don't even know what I'm going to ask. I'm just like buying time. But they are naturally curious little creatures and they want to know that somebody's interested in them.
Right. I
mean, we're all that way. We all want to talk about ourselves. Look at me. I won't let you get in a word edgewise, evidently. So
it makes total sense. And people also do not I'm glad you brought up the lens thing. People don't realize I asked why I shoot with wide angle lenses of portraits a lot. And it's because I'm this weird habit of constantly stepping closer, because in my head, that's the portrait I'm never going to see in real life, is when I'm that close to someone.
Right.
That's the image that not everyone's going to get, because not everyone's going to let you that close. And I like seeing all of it while I'm that close. And it's a very different perspective than isolated and separated and they're alone and you're not there. And it's like, no.
Right.
We're here and we're doing this. So I'm really glad you brought that up. And as far as like the the getting the technical right, I always tell you guys, we have to get all the variables down, because once you're shooting, anything you can control from changing is going to get you closer to an end result. Your variable is your subject. You have no idea what these kids are going to just out of nowhere, right?
Nope.
So why would you worry about how far that light is or what modifier? Get it done.
Yeah.
You could have all day the day before figuring this out.
And you and I have something very unusual in common. Well, we have something in common, which like is unexpected.
Talking fast. I'm from New York, man. There's all I only know the
But
speed.
I'm not, and I'm like I feel like
East
I'm keeping
Coaster,
up.
right?
Yes, light meter.
What about
Even
it?
I feel like the importance of light meters. Like a lot of people don't believe in that anymore. But for me to create the set where I know nothing will go wrong, everything has to be dialed in. So I will use a light meter.
Where'd you get me in the light meter from?
You don't use a light meter. We were talking about this at the rooftop event.
Oh, yeah, because I had it on me on the pocket.
Were
Yeah,
you
yeah.
posing? Like, were you
No,
just
no,
like,
no,
were you
no.
making it up?
No, because I haven't done anything here with a light meter in a while. But I did do the Professional Photographers of America video recently with the light meter. And then I got a bunch of old guys. You're 2/10 of a stop. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
But light meters are really important because it's a measurement.
Right.
It's a measurement. We're figuring out
One
what
more
we're doing.
variable that we are taking out of the equation.
I use it a lot for recreation. So I have a lot of setups
Yes.
that I go right back to, and I go, like I'm in a controlled space a lot. My studio, I know my studio is not easy to shoot in. It's all white from head to toe and lights flying,
Like bouncing everywhere.
driving me crazy, especially when I'm trying to shoot all that creepy zombie stuff.
Yeah.
So light meters are important, and they're a one-time buy.
They're a one-time buy. They're you can get the basic one,
Yeah.
which is all I'm capable of using and understanding. But I will not do a session without a light meter. So it's one less thing that I have to worry about. I will do it before anybody comes on set so that all I have to do is insert family ready to go. See, that's more complicated than
I know. I was
like
trying
I have like the
308.
light meter for dummies.
I know.
Like press one button and yeah.
I have the 308 here. Have you seen my desk? It is. I'm not going to find that light meter.
I have noticed.
I have like three
Three
stress
tape
balls on there.
measures so far. Yeah. The gaffer's tape, great.
Yeah, this
call.
is an ever-going project, as you guys know. But I love when I pull this out, and then I get a comment in a video, and somebody's so angry, going, "How is it $200?" I'm like, "It's an accurate
my God.
tool you will never need again.
And
Invest
what do you pay for insurance? Like, can we just call it insurance?
your batteries
Can we just
now
call
are
it like
$100.
peace of mind? Can we just call it like a self-esteem booster?
Forget that.
Like,
Maybe you actually start learning more about what your lights are
Yes,
doing. What
exactly.
a crazy, unbelievable.
Exactly.
What? Why would I want to?
see, this is how I knew you. Like
Where's
light
Ab
meters.
Cisse? Are you in the chat, bro? Where's the stress camera? We just got these new stress cameras. Can I show this?
I have an old school Sakonic. Yes, that's the best one, and I have broken more of those than I can. I've broken more of those than I can count.
under the stress
not
camera.
Sakonic's fault, but that's the one I use.
So that's the ultimate
this
student
is the
scope.
308XU.
Yeah, so this is the ultimate
Yeah.
student one. This is at most $200,
Yeah.
and it'll do what you need. It'll even do constant light now for a cine. It actually has settings for that now.
Yeah,
So-
I live and die by this, and I literally don't do a shoot without it. Inside, outside, wherever, I will use it. And people laugh, and then the kids will be like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's magic."
You know how many
And
times?
they'll be like, "What do you mean?" And I'll be like, "It tells me how good you're listening." And they'll be like, "What?" And I'll go, "You're only listening at a 6 right now." And then they're like, "What?" Like, yeah, it's good. Is that one idiot proof? Yes, I use it.
I used to
So,
pretend that it
yes.
was the Ghostbusters thing, and mess with people like that.
But now kids they don't know Ghostbusters. We're old, man.
Nah, they redid all the Ghostbusters, man. Come on, man. No, but it's crazy how much pushback you get on things like you're trying to oversell them on something. It's like, I'm telling you right now, you will, even if you never pull it out again, there's going to be that one time that you're going to need it. Because you know what? I get a lot of guys that yell at me about their backgrounds, because we always talk about the model, about the backgrounds, right? They go, how come my background's not even like, have you taken a light meter and done this across it and seen how many stops?
Right. The fall off. Right.
Oh, I need one of these? Well, it'd be nice.
Yeah. And if nothing else, like here's kind of like a dumb thing too, but in an age where everybody's a photographer and your clients have all the cameras that you have.
I just push a button for a living. I don't know
when I bring this out, there is something to be said for I'm doing something more than just letting my camera take the pictures, right? Like they're kind of all curious. Well, what is that? And I go, well, I like to be in charge of my camera and not have my camera in charge of me. So I want to tell it exactly what to do. So I'm measuring light and I'm telling the camera what to do.
So there's a lot of times I pull it out. I actually pull it out for flash duration. So I have the higher end one that tells me what shutter speed roughly is my movement going to be okay
Yeah,
at.
you went way over my head on that one.
But there's a lot of shoots that I do where it's so how else am I going to figure that out? By eye?
Right, right.
What am I gonna do? Oh,
exactly.
I felt it. I felt
Yes.
how long it was.
Yes.
Or if I have a new piece of gear, I don't throw it into the field till I go through it.
Exactly. Because a light is a light is a light, but not, until right. Yeah, exactly.
And then if a light at full power versus another light at full power.
Versus one that's been on for an hour, one that's a couple years older.
New tubes, all that stuff. Or, it's
science. It's science, man.
I always say it's a science as much as it's a feel. Or it's a feel as much, whatever. You know what I say, whatever. Yeah. But the reality is the less variables you can take. So if you're getting a definitive answer, that's a less variable.
Good. Oh man,
We're flying.
This is crazy.
We're flying. It's
11:44.
We're going to
I feel like I'm holding my own though. I did just get a text from my husband. That's very nice.
Is he watching?
I don't know. It said he couldn't get on the chat.
Wait a second, Marcus. Are you asking if this one's idiot proof?
Yes, I already said it's idiot proof. I use it.
You got to understand Marcus. Marcus knows how to shoot. He does a really great job shooting. I'm actually really proud of this guy. But one thing he's not
is a light meter user.
He's not gentle. I'll say there's some kind of his gear just melts in his hands. I have seen things break on that kid's hands that I thought was indestructible. I sold him a strobe. It lasted 12 hours, 18 hours. What happened there? I've kicked this around this entire vent space more times.
My God. No.
There's no moving parts.
Yeah.
It's just something that like you're crazy if you don't at least spend some time with a light meter. All right, cool.
He can't get on the chat, but he's watching. Hi, babe.
No problem, Marcus. Oh, man, I love testing out new lights or setups with it once I get the setup.
One thing that I learned from Michael a long time, my husband, Michael Taylor, who's like just a lighting genius. One thing I learned from him a long time ago is how to troubleshoot. And it's very intense when you're on a job and you haven't played with your equipment, tested your equipment enough to figure out. Remember the days when you had to like plug in your remote, the triggers and the cords, and then you were like, well, what's wrong? What's bad? Is it the light meter? Is it the cord? Is it the light? Is it the plug? I mean, like we're unplugging like 6 different things. I mean, we have it easy now, but it's still very important to know your gear because again, you want to be using the tools well so that you can just engage with that person in front of you, real person, model, whatever. Everybody wants to feel seen. Everybody wants to feel seen, whether they're a professional model or a 2-year-old, whatever. They want to be seen. And in today's world, that's more important than ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have it easy, but we're also shooting ways we haven't before. We're doing scenarios that we weren't doing in the 80s and 90s. And so then when you start realizing what failed because what's different now,
right,
you elevate. So one of the things that's becoming a problem for a lot of people that they don't realize is they get misfires because their remote is too close to the strobe because of weird setups they're doing.
Right.
A lot of beginner photographers don't even think that's a thing. No, it's just an inch too close to your remote. It's a radio signal. Think about this.
And I think too that, I think everybody is so hungry for knowledge. And there's a lot of information out there, but there's not a lot of vetted information.
Not a lot of wisdom.
There's not a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of people out there looking for reliable sources. That's why what you guys do is so important, because we need to know that if you have somebody on, they're probably reasonably legit. I mean, I know I got in at last minute, so I was kind of like a stringer. Is that what you call it?
She was outside with a sign being like, I need.
I was out there with the window washer.
She was like, we'll work for exposure. Exactly. Because we all pay our rent with exposure.
Yeah, exactly. So,
no, I mean, I take that very serious. Everyone that signed this wall, they had to get through me first. Okay, so I really and we set an example on this channel, and there's so many channels. You could start a channel from nothing, but doesn't mean that you're putting something.
No, and I think that. I'm afraid that what happens oftentimes is we're all impatient. We're in an immediate society now. We want things instantly. So we take a class, we buy a workshop, we watch a thing, and then we buy whatever that is, that gear that person is using, and then we expect it to just add gear and instant success, or just add whatever. And it's not that. I mean, you and I didn't come up that way. None of us. I mean, we've been around the block for a minute, and we had to work for it. We had to really learn it. It doesn't happen overnight. And so I think, number one, you have to consider the source. Remember, we always used to learn that in when we were doing research projects in school. What's your source? Are we really getting the information from the right people, the right sources? And, what is it? Trust but verify. Trust but verify. Test your gear. Don't take it out of the box and then say, well, it's not working the way Seth said it was going to work.
And there's like 7,000 sub menus that could affect the one thing you're trying to do. It's always something.
Unless
guys.
you use Sony, because the menus are like dialed in now. So
I think
I had to say that.
No, go for it.
Yeah.
I think every system, you have to learn the system no matter
No,
what it
100%.
is, whatever you're into.
100%.
But you know, it's just like, I don't know about you, but I actually,
I think I figured it out. I don't think this is decaf.
Fernando, did you not get decaf?
No, I'm pretty sure Fernando ordered
I could
decaf,
taste decaf.
but I'm pretty sure this is full octane. Just saying.
Well, you'll be crashing later, so it'll be good like that. So I don't know about you, but with the trade shows, because we're both there, we're both like yelling at crowds and stuff like that. I actually learned so much about where people are at. Like, you talk to people, but you don't know what's sitting in these chairs or in this chat. But when they come back to you and the questions you get, you're like, oh, that's where you're at. Oh, you know, one of the things that opened my eyes, me and Daniel a million years ago, Dan probably remembers this. We did a demo at Comic-Con and we were talking like photographers. So we're like, your exposure to this, and all these cosplayers are like,
no,
wait, what does that even mean?
Right.
And we're like, oh,
right.
So here's how you shoot cool cosplay without using photo nerd terms.
Right.
You're worried about how dark or bright this is. Okay.
Right.
So it's, you know, and
Right.
you don't realize what the conversation is if you've been out of it. So a lot of people that don't go to community events, community places in our industry, don't talk to the photographers, talk to other people in different genres, you're missing out. And I think that's why the trade shows are so important.
Yes.
That said, we will be at
Got a
Imaging
big one
USA.
coming up.
Yep.
PPA, Imaging USA in Dallas, first
gonna
week
be
of
huge.
February. Can't wait. You'll be there. I'll be there. I'm doing a full day business pre-con.
Okay.
So 8 hours of just me.
I'm in there for pre-con, so I'll see you.
8 hours of business, branding, marketing, all the things. And then Michael and I have a platform program on Tuesday morning all about marketing.
Cool.
Getting business in the doors.
Do you know what booth number we are? Oh, so booth demos, right?
Yeah, I'll be in your booth.
Oh boy, this is it.
Buckle up. What time did we decide, Teresa? Sunday at 1:15. Sunday at 1:15.
So if you're coming to Imaging USA, and you should
I
think
think it's
about
1
going to, you should think about going to Imaging USA. If you're not going this year, check it out. Professional Photographers of America also has a channel which is full of people like me and Daniel and everyone else giving
And
you
me and
guys.
Michael.
Are you on? I didn't see a video from you really.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
I haven't seen it lately.
Last year.
Yeah. So
But I will tell you, they just did a whole film on Michael's new project, Roadwork.
Okay.
And they're debuting it Sunday afternoon.
very cool.
So
Our
keep an eye out for
PPA is
that.
the channel.
Yes.
So make sure you check that out. But also, Imaging USA is I call it the WrestleMania of what. Yeah, because you know what, everyone. I mean, look, I actually physically do cardio to get ready for trade shows because I yell for 2 hours.
I'm
straight.
aware. I'm aware. This is how we
Listen,
met.
Teresa hands me a mic. She goes, "I need people." I'm like, ah. I always start off my booth demos the same way. I just yell. I got a bunch of lights. I got a model, a camera. Let's rock. You know, I just scream.
Yeah.
And if there's not enough, I don't know how you were when you were coming up, but when I go to trade shows when I was a kid, I felt like I didn't belong there because it was all boring dudes with pocket vests talking about boring stuff, and I'm like, I'm never going to be this. And then when I met Daniel and I saw a different, I was like, oh, we can do it our way.
We can be cool.
Yeah, just okay. I'm going to do it my way. And then you know, it was our generation to come up and do things, but. Think about going to WPI. There's a lot of trade shows out there, and I think you're missing
I'll
out.
be at that one too.
Yeah, if you don't, there's probably even small ones that are local in your area. Go to something. And if you're in New York, this is a free all the time space with free classes. I know we always stream to you guys. It's different in person. I know all you weirdos that get up after and go like, "Can I ask you a question quietly?" You can do that. You can't do that. You can't really do that when the stream's off. Right. So you got to come and hang out to things. You're also going to be in the Sony booth, I'm sure, doing demos as well. Do you have a schedule on that?
Don't have the schedule yet, but usually there. And so that'll be imaging. That'll be WPPI. Yeah, we had a great time at Rooftop.
Oh, right. Totally. I was going to bring that up. I totally forgot about the Rooftop.
I tried to give you the segue by the light meter thing at the Rooftop, but you didn't pick it up.
I didn't even.
I feel like you're not quite on your game this morning.
Monica, you know how much stuff I do? You have any idea how every day is something different?
I do?
Lady, don't even. But we did the Sony Rooftop, I think October. Yeah, because it's around Comic-Con time, I remember, right? Yeah.
September, yeah.
So September, October, we do the Sony Rooftop event usually and other Sony events. So you can check out adorama.com/events. Stay up on that. Also, add Adorama on Eventbrite so you notify when new events get posted, like the photo critique that's happening this month with me and Daniel right here, but you got to be in person. We're just going to take a look at your work and give you guys some constructive feedback.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's
That's
like Adult Swim. You know, there's no stream. I can like eat a cookie while I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
it's good. if you're in New York or you're going to be in New York, check out Adorama.com/events for what's coming up. I'm going to try to get Monica back in here to do an actual class.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We're going to glue a kid to the floor.
Yeah.
And we're going to...
Bring it. I'm here for it. Now, here's the thing I'll say, because whenever somebody says, what models do you want? What kind of models do you want for the workshop or whatever? And I'm always like, bring me a real family whenever possible. Like, I want real people. Just don't bring me like a 2-year-old at 3:00 in the afternoon. Like, please set me up for success. Like, I'm down with the littles, but don't bring them to me like, an hour before dinner.
I want them to have their first cup of coffee ever before they shoot with you. That would be great.
Exactly.
I talk about photography like a monster truck announcer. I tend to get 37% of my game from pro wrestling. The way I do demos is at least 37% from pro wrestling. Like, that's the way I want energy. If I don't get it from them, I'm not doing anything. When I'm doing this by myself, I'm the only energy. Yeah. So like, I don't want to be part of anything that's drab. Why would you? Yeah. So I try to. I
mean, I did make an exception. I'm here this morning, so.
Look,
but again, last minute stringer, so I get it.
No, I'm glad you were in town. I'm glad that you reached out to Teresa because it was like perfect. So yeah. I mean, I won't remember the last time I did an episode of this. I feel like it's been forever.
We squeeze in. We've got 5 minutes.
I mean, like, do you guys have any questions? It's probably your time to do it. But for real though, if you're going to be at imaging, make sure you check out Monica's class, the pre-con for business, the during the show for platform. You're going to be at the Sony booth. You're going to be in our booth.
Your booth Sunday. Platform program Tuesday, all day business Friday before. Yeah.
So we're doing it, guys.
Things.
And
ASP booth Sunday afternoon.
ASP booth.
I'm getting an award.
Oh, congratulations.
I
Mazel tov.
I'm very excited.
Wait, you already know you're getting the award?
Well, I had to earn it. I had to earn it. Like, I had to like do all the things and like achieve it.
Are you going to pretend like you're surprised?
No, it's like a thing. Like, I got to get dressed up and stuff. It's like amazing.
Oh, that thing. Oh, yeah. So last year I did my demo. I had 700 people. And then at the door, people in giant ball gowns kept coming in, running out, and then they come back in, and they run. I'm like, what is going on? Like, oh, it's the awards, but they don't want to sit there the whole time.
Well, that was the award. That's probably Tuesday. This is Saturday night.
Okay. So there's more than one award ceremony with this thing?
Yeah, it's a different thing.
But
I have a killer dress.
Okay.
So I'm very excited. There's again, not my work. Come on, literally, you have one job.
You gotta get over yourself, lady. I'm gonna tell you, it's a screensaver. All right, you know what I'm saying? You know what's funny about the awards, and I know this isn't funny, but I find it funny. I always see these people get dressed to the nines and they go, and then I watch them when they come back and they're all trashed from being like crying and like sweating and like all the mascara and like they're carrying their shoes because they're like.
I'm not gonna carry my shoes. I'm not gonna say that I won't have slippers.
It's an interesting moment. I mean, that is...
One thing I will say, if you are at imaging, or if you are at WPPI or any of these things, like I know how intimidating it can be to come up and say hi to somebody that you've either watched on a podcast or seen in a workshop or whatever, seen them on Instagram. And it's like very intimidating sometimes to say, hi, I'm so-and-so. I had a question for you. So I do want to say that, I think I can speak for you and many of our colleagues and friends that we are here to help. Like, we are where we are because people helped us and answered our questions. So if you see us at the trade show, come say hi. Like, come ask your questions. Like, we're nobody special. We just are maybe in front of you or maybe a little bit further down the road than you, but we're humans and we would love to help. We love to help.
I also look at it like, we don't ever clock out in this industry.
No.
And if I'm at a trade show, this side of it, I'm definitely punched in, right? If I'm on a trade show floor, if I'm at the casino losing a bunch of money at WPI, which is like I like gambling, leave me alone. But we're punched in. We're here. We're doing it, all right? So, and there's such amazing speakers this year. And I know this because I was on the speaker selection committee. So you're going to have a really great year this time. And next year will be in Nashville. So if you can't make it to Dallas, Nashville's a really good one because it's like a returning venue. Yeah. And we'll talk about that. Anyway, there's a quick question in the chat. When printing, do you normally use a print house with a relationship, or is it something you do in-house? So do you print it in-house? I do not want to be a lab. I want to be a photographer. I had no disrespect to anybody that does print their own work. I think that's phenomenal. That is a talent set in and of itself that I don't possess at this time. Not to say that I won't ever, but right now, my love is shooting. And when I say selling, it sounds like it has a negative, but I mean like really providing the client with the perfect solution for them. That's what I call selling. So if I'm not shooting, selling, or marketing,
Like those are my three things. So if I'm not doing one of those three things, it's not paying my bills. So while I have great appreciation for printing, I do work with printers that I do have a relationship with because I'm very picky, and so that's how we do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
good question.
Speaking of that,
great question.
Check out Printique. Adorama does have a printing service, and they're pretty cool people. I got to say, I think Libby, if you're watching this at some point, what's going on? Look, it's the first one back of the year, and I can't thank you guys enough for being part of this. If you're watching some playback, hit us up with some stuff in the comments. I'm sure you got some questions for Monica. She'll hawk those comments for sure. I'm positive. Go hit follow on. Bada bing, bada boom. Go ahead, follow on her work to stay up on it. And if you're interested in this genre of photography, it's imperative that you stay up on other people and the way they shoot the same type of subject matter or clientele that you're with, so you understand what's going on out there, what trends are, what people are expecting. And I just want to give another quick shout out to Sony for sponsoring this.
Thank you.
She's an actual Sony artisan, so that's.
And I will tell you, if I can, just really quickly, I shot Sony long before I became professional. I am a trendsetter that way, but long before I began a professional relationship with Sony. And I think that that's important because there's so many people out there hawking wares and like, oh, well, they're saying that they use that because they're getting paid to say that. Well, so I would not have the career I have. Michael and I would not have the work that we can show, is particularly down on that Instagram feed, those really dark portraits. We wouldn't have that if we hadn't changed over to Sony. I mean, those are the files that come in out of the camera, and we couldn't do that. So firm believer in Sony, and not because I'm affiliated with them. So I do like to just make sure that's
it's important that we're genuine. And I think like if there's anything you get from this platform and this, it's genuine, right? So I'm really appreciative that you come through, and you can check out all the Sony toys down below. And also I'm pretty sure we're going to see you again at another Sony workshop that we put together. I'm sure.
That'd be great. I'd love it.
And yeah, I think that's enough. Thank yous. Here, go. I mean, thank you to Gotham.
Thank you to Seth. Thank you to Teresa. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the calf.
Right, go check out Monica's work. Guys, the critique is in full effect. I am live every Monday. I'm available now, noon, here on the Adorama Events channel, the other channel, the newer channel. So there's 3 episodes up now. We looked at edge mask. We turned my 4x5 view camera into a 102 megapixel medium format camera. And we just looked at a fingerprint camera from the police precinct. And then I showed you guys differences of beauty dishes, all that stuff for free and live on the other channel. I will see you Monday at noon. Monica, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Teresa, for inviting me. This was awesome.
It's exhausting, this one. Guys, we will see you on this. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. There are like 3 already scheduled, and we're cranking these out.
And they're all me. Surprise.
All right, guys, be good to each other. Happy New Year, and I hope to see you in these seats. All right, I'm always bad at this, man. I'm just going to cut it off, guys. Be good to each other. Later. Peace.